Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. I've been playing Pokemon MMOs for the past 10 years, and I've been playing Pokemon MMOs, specifically PokeMMO, professionally for the last year and a half, making video content for it here on YouTube and on Twitch. So I have my fair share of experience, and I've played most Pokemon MMOs out on the market today. But there's a couple that I still haven't tested, and today we're going to be testing one of them, Pokemon Blaze Online. Otherwise known as PBO. This is going to be my first impression, so I'm going to be going through the process of learning about the game, figuring it out, maybe playing through the first hour or two of gameplay, and breaking everything down for you guys. Now, right off the bat, I want to say that their website is very high-tech in comparison to other Pokemon MMO sort of fan-made projects. They do claim to be the #1 Pokemon MMORPG, which is quite a brave claim, especially when they haven't really been around as long as many others. They do have some really cool things they advertise here, though, like Javalo. They advertise a essentially totally custom region. They advertise their Halloween event. There's some really beautiful artwork and really cool stuff here on their initial website page. If you continue to scroll down, you also see Dynamax battles. You see electrifying, whatever that means. I assume PvP or something. It might get cut off there because I'm on 200% to make it look actually good on OBS. We scroll down, we see some battles and everything. Now, I will say the graphics, 100% features, 100% community, pretty cool. Typical advertiser stuff. Okay, I'm getting a little bored of all the. It does look nice. It does look very nice. It looks very good. The website is probably one of the more professionally done websites I've seen from a Pokemon MMO. But what I'm worried about initially is just another Pokemon MMO that's kind of not really going to do anything interesting, not really going to grab my attention, and I'm just going to kind of forget about. Specifically because of the art. This art is pretty much exactly what Pokemon and Pokemon Revolution Online both look like. So Pokemon and Pro both kind of have this very similar art style. I don't know if they just all stole it from each other or if they all copy it from each other or where it initially came from. I think it initially came from Pro, if I'm not mistaken. That was the first out of those three at least to be released. But it's not a good sign to be regurgitating that same kind of graphical style, but it also doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's a red flag, but a red flag doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an actual negative impact on the game. Or let's stop critiquing the website. Let's go ahead and download the game and actually get into some gameplay. If you do find yourself enjoying today's content, always make sure to like the video to let me know if you did enjoy it, and consider subscribing for more Pokemon MMO content. I usually upload a video at least every single day and stream Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. EST. I upload videos mostly around PokeMMO, which I believe to be the best Pokemon MMO. It has been for the past decade. I pretty much use that as my benchmark to what is a good Pokemon MMO. Alright, but here we are actually looking at the game, and once again, the first thing that sticks out to me is the quality. I actually am continuously impressed by the high quality image of what I'm looking at with this Pokemon MMO. I'm also quite interested in the music. It's pretty calm, yet still intriguing and interesting. Pretty solid. But I will say the one downside is I did actually have to do a little bit of finagling to be able to record this. This game follows one of the trends that I see a lot of games do, and I don't like this personally, but maybe this is just a personal gripe. I'm not a huge fan of pretty much every new game opening up in full screen for the first time. I'd prefer it to open up in windowed, and then you can change it to full screen if you want a more immersive gameplay or a more immersed experience in general. I think opening up in Windows by default gives a player a lot more control over what they want to do, versus full screen's a little overwhelming sometimes and forces you into it. I couldn't properly record the way that I wanted to without actually loading into the game first inside the game. There's no setting on the menu. There's no settings option. There's no way to change any of the sound options, any of the visuals, any of the resolutions without actually logging in, which once again, kind of a little gripe. But once again, those are pretty small negatives, just pretty big quality of life things, so they can fix that pretty easily, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and actually jump into the game and see what it looks like and see what we're looking at today. Here we are actually in the game itself. Looks like you can, I'm essentially clicking with my mouse and dragging, and that allows me to move my character. So you're also able to use WASD, which of course I'm going to be using WASD, don't you worry, but that's really cool. I actually really like that. The fact that they give you an option to be able to play, hey, with, only mouse, or if you want to play with only keyboard, or both, you can do that. That's honestly a really cool alternative. I assume this is also implemented for mobile play specifically. Maybe it just allows the same client to essentially transition across both platforms smoother. But I'm sure someone that is more technical in that field in the comments could let me know. Alright, but let's take things slowly. Let's go ahead and break down the HUD and see everything I can look at here. If we left click a player, we actually see a bunch of options come up as well. It's like a random battle we can challenge them to. Friend request, whisper, trade, PvP, typical stuff. Now, You can view their trainer card though. This is something I've been asking PokeMMO to implement for quite a while, so I love to see this feature in this game. Being able to see a player's accomplishments just by the click of a button is really, really nice and important in an MMO to make that progress meaningful. But let's go ahead and clean up this UI. Let's actually do this, and we'll go ahead and go through things one by one. Now, if I close everything, as you can see the chat, this bottom screen and the top screen, we still have the world map and the donator. So it's like you don't have the Sinnoh bag in your map. Did I pick my region? I would have definitely preferred not to start in Sinnoh, but I wonder if I just didn't have that option. I might have just missed it. Donator Store. Let's see. Every Pokemon MMO's got to have a donator shop to keep servers up. Obviously not a knock against it. Now, it does come down to what is in your donator store, what kind of mechanics are there, is it pay to win, how pay to win, is it only vanities, visuals, etc., etc. So we see a couple of things here. We see a premium game pass, which has a month attached to it, which means it's similar to a battle pass. I don't know what quite that benefits yet, but that could be fine. I think paying for a membership fee is fine if it offers some fair in-game benefits that aren't too OP for paying to play. Let's go through. We have the lore stack, similar graphic to the Pokemon Go lores. I don't know what these do, and you can't tell what they do just by looking in the shop. Kind of, slight downside. Swarm Flute, once again, don't know what a lot of these do. Item Bomb is hilarious. Now, something I noticed is that on their outfits, they just straight up say Abomasnow costume bundle, Gengar costume bundle. This is a red flag because that tells me that they don't care about the copyright stuff, and that sort of tells me I don't know if this kind of Pokemon MMO will last in the long term. It sounds really harsh, but this kind of thing opens them up to Nintendo and Game Freak's wrath of copyright strikes. Something that PokeMMO does, which is absolutely genius, is, let's say, for something like the Gengar costume, if they had that in PokeMMO, they would say something like Scary Ghost costume. Just changing the name and changing the artwork slightly is the perfect way to avoid copyright strikes. It's a really fantastic, really smart system they've developed alongside of a lot of other things, on top of a lot of other things, and that's a huge reason why PokeMMO is the longest standing Pokemon MMO. They were really smart about avoiding copyright stuff, just barely. So it does worry me a little bit. It seems like they either don't care about the long term or just don't know about this, and that's okay. Moving on to boosts. We see a PBO membership. So we see this membership end a game pass. I don't know what boosts those differentiate. We'll just have to see. As we hover over them, we can actually see. This will give us some huge information. So the membership provides a 25% increased shiny chance. That is pretty large. I don't know what the base shiny rate is in this game. 25% increased shiny chance. That's crazy. 10% experience boost. That's fine. Nothing crazy. 5% nature sync boost. That's fine. Nothing crazy. Premium ATMs. I don't know what that is. Travel discount and trade sponsored icon. 25% is pretty crazy. PokeMMO gives a 10% boost for their memberships. You can also get a shiny charm, which is a 10% boost, but the shiny charms are wickedly expensive and they only last an hour, and that's kind of the balancing with PokeMMOs. You can only get up to 20% boost, and even with a 20% boost in PokeMMO, the shiny rate still gets as low as 1 out of 24,300. I'm not sure the base shiny rate in this game. I'll have to do some digging. Alright, I just noticed an absolutely massive red flag from this game that I hate to see in any sort of game. It comes off as very mobile game to me, and I'll explain that to you guys exactly what that is. So, if you wanted to buy $10 worth of the in-game currency, that would give you 700 gems. Now, they do have a thing that says donate $10 and you get an additional 10% token. So, let's say you get that. Let's say it's 770 gems. So, you spent $10, you got 770 gems. Now, let's go back and try to buy that 1 month PBO membership. Oh, it's 800 gems, only 30 gems away from being able to get that. So, okay, you know what? Let's just buy a few more gems. That's not a big deal. Let's actually go ahead and back. Let's go actually with the next. Oh, you can only buy 20. Oh, I have to buy $20 worth of gems now to be able to get that. You can buy in $1 increments technically, but it seems kind of fishy. I don't like when they do stuff like this. They're clearly trying to get you to go to that next level up. Mobile games do this all the time. You're not, you're just a little bit short of being able to pay for what you want. So, oh, you know what? You might as well go to the next thing. 1,400 gems. This is not going to allow you to get 2 of those memberships, you'll once again have to buy more gems. Just a pretty slimy tactic you see from a lot of games. Huge red flag. I'm really not trying to brush off this game too quickly. People are often telling me in the comments, hey man, you're being too harsh on this Pokemon MMO, but I think I just do end up being kind of harsh because I have a very high bar. Pokemon MMOs are so often a short-term cash grab, and this game screams that to me so far, and we haven't even gotten to the gameplay. But maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe it's too early to say. Let's keep exploring. Alright, after doing some digging, it took me quite a while, but I actually ended up joining the Pokemon Blaze Online Discord, and I searched for the term shiny across many chats, and I finally ended up finding an answer to the shiny rate within the game. Someone asked how many days in game for your first shiny, and this chat moderator, you can actually click here, you should be able to see he's a moderator, chat moderator in the Discord. He replied, depends on whether you're grinding or not, but it feels somewhere between 1 in 12k and 1 in 20k. So somewhere between that rate, most likely around 1 in 15k, but it's not made public. PokeMMO actually had a very similar situation where their shiny rate was private for many, many years. He also goes on to say, let's say your post story, pretty sure you should get a shiny every 10 hours or so of grinding. This is 2,000 pokes an hour. Now, you know, in PokeMMO, 2,000 pokes an hour is not possible. That is extremely fast. I don't know what they are doing to be able to get 2,000 Pokemon per hour. That's pretty interesting. I'd say the highest you can get in PokeMMO is usually around 12 to 1,400 if you're doing ×5 hordes with Lepa berries, and that costs a lot of Pokeyen. But overall, 2,000 pokes an hour at around a 15k shiny rate or so, not bad. Actually, probably much better than the kind of shiny rate and shiny economy you'll see in most Pokemon MMOs. So I am impressed by this. I feel like most Pokemon MMOs are too scared to make shinies actually rare within their game, which really hurts the economy and hurts the feel of the rarity and the achievement of getting a shiny. You love to see that rare rate. Some games just end up being too focused on helping the newer players or helping the casual players, and it's important to reward those who do put in that extra time and effort. Alright, but I've spent enough time here in my room. I'm going to go ahead and we'll cover more of the UI later on, but I want to go ahead and play some Pokemon. Let's go ahead and get started. That's a very nice little, I guess, heading that comes up. The chat comes out. Barry left. I did talk to Barry before while I was setting up the proper resolution to record. Go ahead and head out of the house. I also like this little graphic telling you where to go. It's pretty simple, pretty cute, pretty aesthetic. I like it. Outside we go and we find ourselves in Twin Leaf Town. Go ahead and walk around. The graphics, once again, look beautiful. And I like this. Does every house have this? Or is only the house that I'm supposed to go have that? Honestly, okay, it looks like every house has that. I would really not mind if they made the Pokemon storyline a little more obvious, even though it's already so obvious, right? But I don't know, sometimes want to really turn your brain off and really just follow the path. Here comes Barry. Let's have a little conversation. I'm finding you 10 million if you're late. Okay, let's try to hurry. Typical rival discussion you guys have seen a million times, I'm sure. I'll try to get through it and actually get to something I can critique about the game. I do love these headings. Here, I'll show you guys right here. Whenever you enter a new location, super, super aesthetic. I feel like the creators of this game might have a lot of experience with graphic design or maybe UI design. It is very, very impressive. Probably the most impressive thing about it so far is the visuals. It actually ends up not feeling like a Poke1 or Pro clone just because of those little extra visuals. It makes a huge difference. Alright, but continuing on a little bit more of the basic story, I was checking out a little bit more of the UI, and if I go to the trainer card, and then I go to this little section here, not even quite sure what this is, I find out that there seems to only be 2 regions within this game. Funnily enough, one of which those regions is Sinnoh, and then the other is a custom region. Very brave to only have one, I guess, main region and have it be 4th gen for whatever reason. I guess maybe it was just the developer's favorite. I feel like usually picking either Gen 1 or Gen 5 is the best way to start. People are often sick of Gen 1, but Gen 5 is a good backup. For those who don't know, Gen 5 was actually meant to be a soft reboot of Pokemon. And that's why they introduced so many new Pokemon in that generation. And that's also why you could only catch Gen 5 Pokemon until the post-game in Black and White and Black and White 2 in the Universe games, which is a really interesting fun fact. But it's cool to see them be brave enough, I guess, to start with Sinnoh and then have a custom region. Once again, I love the idea of custom regions. I think I've talked about this before. I think that is very interesting in a Pokemon MMO. However, I think it's weird to start with Sinnoh, just my personal taste. I do think the general dialogue boxes and like the little NPC sprites here look pretty good. So huge shout out for these dialogue boxes. Definitely a nice aesthetic. Once again, running with that same beautiful UI they seem to have a lot of experience with. Here we're meeting all of the relevant characters for the storyline. Dawn, Barry, and Professor Rowan, of course. And here is where we get to select our starter Pokemon. Now, I'm a huge Turtwig fan, so I'm obviously going to go with that. But let's go ahead and see through everything, like everything looks and everything. A little choppy around the borders here, but not really a big deal. Really cool, interesting selection screen. Kind of low quality, honestly, especially compared to the traditional Sinnoh selection screen. But, I mean, this looks nice. Not a big deal. We'll move on from that. Don't want to focus on that. We get one potion. We see Turtwig for the first time, add that to the Pokedex, and get to the party, which our party is on the top of the screen. I don't know how I feel about that. Most Pokemon MMOs, or PokeMMO specifically, puts it on the right side, where you can kind of adjust it actually in PokeMMO to however you may like. I don't really like the Pokemon team at the top, just my personal preference. I think having a hotkey bar up there or a hotkey bar down below makes it more MMO-like. But here is our first time actually seeing the battle screen, so this is actually kind of a big deal. This is probably one of the things that gets complained about the most with Pokemon MMOs, and for good reason, is that often the battles will look pretty bad, and I don't know how I feel about this. I'm going to be honest. I think the text over here, the fight, the bag, and the Pokemon and the run look really cheesy. I really don't like that. And the text here on the battle screen, really digitalized and not smooth at all, not good looking. However, I will say, and I hate that the moves are up here to the right. Why would that be the case? Why would these not be down to the bottom left like any sort of traditional Pokemon game? I don't know why you would sort of have the, I don't like this at all, this terrible UI with everything off to the right to click instead of like down at the bottom like it would typically be. That looks disgusting in my opinion. However, back to the positive, like I was trying to say, I do think, personal preference, I think there's actually a little bit of charm to this like Chimchar animation and like this big green background. I actually kind of like it. Now, I think this is personal preference. You could find this disgusting or you could find it kind of cute and charming. I think I actually find it charming. Now, you can also hover over, let's see, you can also hover over Chimchar and see possible abilities, see its exact HP percentage, see its weaknesses, and see its resistances. That's always nice. I always like when the information like that is presented. Are those my attack base stats? Or not base stats. Well, those are either my stats or my IVs. I feel like they have to be my stats because the odds of my IVs all being in that 9 to 12 range is pretty unlikely. Let's go ahead and tackle this guy to go ahead and complete this battle. Beat up Barry's Chimchar, of course. We get immediately teleported back to our mother to get healed, I assume. I want to go ahead and check my Turtwig stats and everything. The Pokemon summary screen is a really big deal in any Pokemon MMO. So this looking good, having a nice aesthetic, but not only that, I think there's much more, I think function is so much more important over aesthetic. This is interesting. Whenever I drag the screen, do you see how it like, okay, that's kind of, wait, this is kind of good. Wait, this is the best game? This is a fantastic mechanic. So whenever I move my box, I can kind of throw it and watch it slide across the screen. This is kind of mesmerizing. Anyways, we can see IVs here, we can see EVs. So it seems like the IVs are 20 across, 20 flat across. PokeMMO does a similar thing, making all the IVs on starter Pokemon 15 across to add a sort of balance and consistency in case people want to do speedruns or you want to do any sort of challenges. I like this. I think on starter Pokemon it's important. It's a little less fun, a little less exciting, but I think it's probably overall better for the average experience. If someone jumps into this game and gets, let's say, a Chimchar that's like bold nature, 0 special attack, 0 attack IVs, and like, you know, shit speed or something, and it just gets bodied for the entire storyline, like that's not a fun time for anyone. So I think it's smart to probably do a baseline for starters. You can always get another one down the line. Now, I will say, ability, nature, it's neutral, that's typical. IVs, I like the IVs. I think this is fine. It's aesthetic and still mostly functional. I think it's really cool. EVs, this is so small. And same with, yeah, I think that's my main, and like digitalized and not super clean looking. A lot of this whole window, I wish I could just make it bigger. I wonder if I can make my UI bigger and scale. That would be interesting. The happiness bar on the left side is really cute and really aesthetic. I like that. And I realize I'm playing on a smaller resolution, like slightly, but I don't think like this compared to the screen is so small. And I think it's really important to have like these stats or information like pretty blown up. You don't want it to be too big to crowd your whole thing. You know, you want to be able to have like 2 or 3 Pokemon summary pages on like the left side of your screen while also battling or doing something on the other side. That's a fantastic part of any Pokemon MMO or any MMO in general. Being able to multitask, check stats, check your bag, check, you know, achievement lists, whatever. Check something else and then doing something else while grinding is super important in MMO. With any sort of MMO, I definitely want to be able to crowd my screen with different sorts of information like this. It actually is super important in the late game. You don't want this in the early game, of course. That would be too overwhelming and crowding, but it's nice in the late game to be able to have information at your disposal while also grinding or doing something a little AFK or a little brain dead within game. But I mentioned achievements, and I want to talk about these kind of quickly. Achievements are something I've been wanting PokeMMO to add to their game for quite a while. Oh, this guy wants to add me. You know what? Why not, dude? Achievements are something I've wanted PokeMMO to add for quite a while. I think it'd be a really interesting sort of extra goal, whether it's alongside your storyline or even at the post game or end game, to give you a reason to go do certain things in the game or a reason to go do certain challenges. Little rewards like this, 5 Pokeball, 3 Great Balls, 5 Great Balls, you know, etc., I think is perfect. I think is really cute, really cool. Master Ball is a little too much. I guess it actually has like a huge reward, like catch 3,000 rare tier Pokemon. I'd even be okay with you getting Master Balls in PokeMMO or something of the like. You'll probably often hear me talking about PokeMMO a lot in this video, and once again, at the beginning, I mentioned that's sort of my benchmark for a good Pokemon MMO. So there are some things that other Pokemon MMOs will have that PokeMMO doesn't have, and I try to critique that game in that aspect and saying, hey, we should add this, or I try to say, hey, this game doesn't have something that PokeMMO has that I think is absolutely crucial and pivotal for the success of a Pokemon MMO. There's also even a leaderboard where you can see like the all-time scoring for certain things, wild fainting, shiny fainting. So people who have killed shinies, this is hilarious. I love this. Why not keep track of this? This is a fantastic thing. Take notes, PokeMMO. Ultra rare fainting, catching, just crazy stuff like this. That's really cool to see who's caught the most Pokemon. You see Ginto's name a couple times. This is super interesting to me. I love leaderboards and high scores are just a great incentive to actually grind for something and feel that extra push. Having that internal push to do something is fantastic, but sometimes having an external reason is just the cherry on top. But let's go ahead and keep moving on. I feel like I've barely done anything in the storyline so far, but you might have noticed how fast I'm zooming right now. I did get access to the running shoes, and the hilarious thing about them is how quick the little animation is and how far you can run away from your follower Pokemon. My Turtwig is absolutely, he like ends up getting readjusted, it seems like. Nope, he runs forever and ever, poor little guy. But continuing on the story, we go. I'll see you guys with any important updates or critiques. Alright, a lot just happened really fast. I ran into the grass for 1 second, I encountered a Shinx, and he intimidated me, like all in the matter of seconds. I think a huge positive you could actually give here. They even say what EVs you gained. That's interesting. I'm going to try for another wild encounter to catch it on camera to show you guys look how fast that is. It happens instantly. A huge positive here. Look at this. I can just spam click tackle. That is fast. That is a very fast battle interaction / animation. Honestly, you could argue that this is like the speed things should be for like a Pokemon MMO. Wow. That might be the biggest positive of this game and maybe of any Pokemon MMO I've seen so far. The issue is, if PokeMMO were to adjust something like this, they'd have to change the rates of everything. They'd have to change the rates of encounters. They'd have to change the rates of shinies. They'd have to raise them drastically, etc., etc. But this is interesting. I think this is something that drives a lot of new players away from PokeMMO, is that they're either used to ROM acceleration or emulator acceleration. They're used to accelerating their games to a 2 times or 3 times rate for a game like, or even faster for a game, especially with Nuzlocke. It just takes too much time. This makes things feel really smooth and really fast. I know I'm spending a long time talking about this, but this might be one of the biggest positive notes I've made about a Pokemon MMO in quite a long time. It doesn't feel too fast to me either. I truly feel like it's the perfect like speed. I really am enjoying this. It's really methodical and quite addicting, honestly. I could see myself just running back and forth, grinding there for a long period of time and just kind of getting lost in the process. Another critique I will say, though, it's a little funny that you can't use the WASD to sort of move around your options within a battle. I'll show you guys really quick. You have to use your mouse to click run. That's it. There's no other option. You have to physically play the game with two hands, it seems, which is kind of defeats the whole purpose of, in my opinion, having access to the mouse thing, this to be able to run. Why have this implemented if you have to play, you have to select, you have to play with two hands anyway? I guess you could play with one hand with the mouse. I guess you could, like this. Yeah, but why not have the option for keyboard as well? Why not do both? I don't know. Why not give the option to actually move around the options with your WSD? Just a thought. I will say the way that the battle music interrupts the peaceful Lake Verity music or other stuff music in the background is pretty hilarious. I'm also getting a surprising amount of encounters, but I don't know what the reason for that is. Moving on, we'll make our way over to Sand Gym Town. I'm going to heal up really quick with my Turkey because out of PP because I got lost in the tactical grinding. Then I'll head over to the Professor Rowan's lab here in a quick sec. Just kidding. I think it actually requires me. Yeah, it requires me to go to his lab first. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, got the conversation out of the way. We see Rowan's a wife over here. Okay, let's go to the PC really quick. Let's see what this looks like. Can I throw this? Actually, I probably can't throw this in, right? Update. Okay, nothing going on there. I'll leave this, go heal really quick. I probably need to have at least one other Pokemon before I can throw something in the PC to see what that interface looks like. Wow, I will say, man, the PC, the graphics of this game and the UI continue to really, really impress me. Wow, what is this? This is some sort of specific... This seems like some sort of specific Pokemon MMO mechanic as well. Goodwill Token Trader. Interesting. Little Cloister up here. Ace Trainer. Ace Trainer. I'm going to head back down to heal up. But yeah, this aesthetic is just, I mean, it's fucking awesome. What else can you say? The globe spinning. The big, like, sort of 3D-ish Pokeball here in the center. My Pokemon, your Pokemon heal that quickly? Really? It's just one. Oh, wow. Dude, the speed of this game continues to impress. This person's on their bike inside the PC as well, which means you can bike inside the PC. That's a really important thing to know. That's pretty cool. We see an interesting NPC over here. ATM? I don't know what's happening here. It's like travel to another land. I'm scared. It's some sort of fast travel, I assume. I wonder if this takes the place of flying to maybe add a little bit of a Pokeyen sync to the game. That'd be interesting. For those who don't know, a Pokeyen sync or a gold sync is generally a very important economical part of any sort of MMO. It's a way to essentially drain gold or drain currency out of the game to prevent inflation. If players were to continuously bring in gold or Pokeyen into the game over and over and over again with nothing draining it out, the value of that gold or currency would just continue to go down and be worthless and worthless over time. That's why adding things like taxes and fees are really important, even in video games. Alright, but if I try to head out of town, it says I have to go check out the Pokemart first, which is only fair, so let's go hit it up. Some interesting music inside the Pokemart. We see the item seller and the item buyer. Do I have any Pokeyen? I have 34 available cash. Is that right? One Pokeball is 50? Unfortunate. You can also see it on your trainer card, which makes sense. Money, 34. I've been playing this game for 2 hours and I've barely made any progress. It only made sense. There's so much to delve into and so much to uncover with Pokemon MMO. And what I really care about is the mechanics and the implementation of certain things, less so than the actual, like, trainers and, like, the gameplay is important, obviously, right? And shiny hunting and everything of the sort, and the flow for a new player. The general sense of progression, but I think most importantly, I have a pretty good judge of character for Pokemon MMOs when it comes down to just the base mechanics. I think I can probably judge a Pokemon MMO pretty accurately just based on the UI. But if I try to leave town again, it says I think I should let my family know that I'm going to help Professor Rowan with the Pokedex. So it's kind of cute. It seems like you have to go talk to your mom again. Maybe she'll give you some sort of key item. I've already gotten the running shoes, so I'm not sure what that would be, but kind of cute. Or maybe it's just to get you to traverse the lands again and sort of get yourself really accustomed to the environment early game. That would also be a fair reason. I do like that you get a little bit of Pokeyen just from battling wild Pokemon. I think that's really cool to me. Without even having to have access to something like Payday like you would need in PokeMMO. Just dropping just very, very little. 3 Pokeyen right there. You need 50 for 1 Pokeball. So honestly, I think it's quite balanced, quite fair. Alright, but after making it back to my mom's place, I can tell her, hey, what's up? I'm going to be traveling. See you later. Peace. Ah, there we go. We run into Barry's mom as well. I knew there must have been some sort of storyline or something important that happens that actually requires me to go back. So I get a parcel I need to give to Barry, I assume now. All right, but now we can continue on. There we go. Heading north of the city, run into Dawn once again. I'm looking to find my first mandatory trainer. There we go. That seems to be it. There we go. So we get jumped right into the battle. Starly versus my Turtwig. I'm just going to tackle. That's all I can really do. A lot of the early game Pokemon seem to just be spamming the lowering of stats moves. Like, look at this. This Starly's lowered my attack to -5, but hasn't attacked me once yet. That has to be some sort of purposefully coded thing. Seems a little too easy to me. They're literally not even attacking me. But I don't know. Who am I to judge so far? I did just battle a wild Bidoof, which did seem to attack me a couple times. I'm going to run from this one, actually, to preserve my HP a little bit. Do I happen to have a potion or two? Run past this guy. This guy's name is Trovis. Okay, anyways. Last Natalie run by. Here we are, little mandatory trainer. A battle, please. Run into a Bidoof. Let's see. Another more accurate or more attack lowering stats. Let's see if this Bidoof attacks me at all. Really? Not one attack from a mandatory trainer. I gets me to -5 attack. I don't know if it's just heavily weighted to use those moves or if it's actually required to. Interesting. Seems like one more mandatory trainer fight. Run into a Burmy. Interesting. You keep seeing how at the beginning of the fight, it seems as though it takes a second for the sprite to actually load into the 3D sprite. It starts off as a normal pixel sprite or just as a still JPEG or still PNG image, and then it actually transitions into a sprite. It's kind of clunky, but not the worst thing in the world. All right, it seems like I'm learning my first move finally after defeating this trainer. We get the move Absorb, which is at least something. We don't get that until level 9 though. Is that really the default moveset? That seems custom. That seems interesting. I don't know if that's the default one, but not learning a single move, I'll have to double check. I will say that also reminds me there seems to be a lack of information within the Pokemon summary page. Maybe I can go to the Pokedex though and actually see more about it. Something important in PokeMMO is that you're able to access the Pokemon's moveset and learn set and tons of other information, the egg group, etc., etc. Let's try to find it and check it out. We also see Geodude Alola in this Pokedex, so we're seeing a lot of interesting Slowbro Galar. We see interesting stuff in here. Kind of a cool. Once again, you see the JPEG or the pixel sprite to 3D sprite transition in this as well. All right, I will say I was scrolling through the Pokedex terribly for a sec, but you can actually just search here in the bottom left. But still, I don't like how this dex is laid out. Once again, it being just a big scroll list to find the Pokemon you're looking for, not great. We see other later gen Pokemon though, which is interesting. The fact that this game only has 2 regions, but it seems to have a lot of Pokemon in it. It's really interesting. So we hear moves: level 1 tackle, level 5 withdraw, level 9 absorb. Interesting. Okay, level 5 withdraw. Okay, maybe this is actually the default moveset. We also see hidden abilities in the game. So we're seeing little tidbits of information being leaked out here, which is a pretty big deal. So it does seem like hidden abilities are probably implemented. Once again, I really feel like the strongest positive of this game is the pacing. Watch me go in, heal my Pokemon, and run out that quickly. That is absurd. I think that might be the most impressive thing of this game. We did seem to get a bunch of Pokeyen from defeating, I assume, Dawn or one of the trainers though, so it's time to finally buy some Pokeballs and see what the process of catching Pokemon is like. I also want to see what the IV rolls look like and everything in this game. Alright, I bought 15 Pokeballs. Let's head up north to the wild and find something to catch. I want to test this. I assume it's going to be pretty typical. Nothing crazy, right? Oh, look at this little bit of a glitch. Already a glitch. Okay, our Turtwig sprite is missing. That's okay. It's to be expected with a pretty, small, I assume small developer team taking care of this team. This kind of glitch, visual only, not the worst thing in the world, not a huge critique of the game. I'm going to tackle this hop up one more time, get it to red HP. Let's go ahead. They actually give us starter balls. I didn't realize. That is so, wow. I didn't even check my bag, I guess. A device for is throwing a ball. The target it's done as a capture system. I think I'm just going to keep these. I think I'm just going to use my Pokeballs. I do wish, that's kind of a cool little thing to keep. Did it just catch? What just happened? There's no animation for catching at all? It just catches? That's super clunky. Wow. That's, I mean, once again, I guess the name of this game is efficiency, which I think
is a huge asset, but I almost think it's reaching a point of maybe hurting the aesthetics and hurting the feel. Now here we see some IV rolls, 23 HP, pretty decent. Hop-Up, honestly, Naughty Nature is actually decent. It's already frail enough, and getting that plus attack can be nice. You know what? Pretty whatever, Hop-Up will take it. And it does have Fairy Wind, so it does seem like 6th Gen plus Fairy typing is implemented to the game. This is a very unique, I will say, Pokemon MMO. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to spoil anything too much, but definitely stick around for my final rating of this game to see whether I think it's actually worth your time or not. Alright, here I'm in a sticky situation where if I don't catch this Lamiao, I will die. Let's see how this goes. It seems like I threw the Pokeball and I failed to catch it. And it just happened instantly. I really don't like that. Let's see here. We caught it, I guess? That's, oh my goodness, that is actually like one of the clunkiest things so far, like probably the clunkiest. Okay, we got a 31 IV. We got a 31 IV Lamiao. What does something like this sell for? I wonder how price checking works. I wonder how the IV economy works in this game. This is going to be one of the most telltale signs of, hey, will this game last? How does their economy work? How does their breeding work? I'm going to check the auction house for the first time here in a sec, and we'll check it out. All right, so this button right here brings you to the trade house. I haven't seen it yet at all. This is how you essentially make one, I assume. Select a category, Pokemon. How would you list it? Would you drag it down or something? I don't know how you would. Maybe I can't list something yet. I assume this is making a listing. What if I click this? Price. Okay, there we go. Lamiao, and I would price it. You'll be paying 5% the cost. Okay, taxes. That makes sense. Good for the economy. Now let's see though. How do I sort for something? Filter, type. I don't care about the type. What I care about here is age group. I don't see age group sorting. That worries me. If there's no age group sorting, that tells me that. Okay, let's see. What's the cheapest 31 special attack Pokemon? Let's do that. Let's bring this up to this. Apply. Can I sort by lowest price? How do I sort? Sort by price. Do this. Let's see. One Pokeyen. 11 days left on this lifting. 2 days left. 46 hours left. Interesting. Yep. So it seems like IVs like 1 times 31. This is a very rare Pokemon. That's funny. How is that the case? Common. So they have rarities on different Pokemon. This is a very rare Pokemon with 31 special attack, and it's useless because I assume the way the breeding system works in this game is you aren't able to actually transfer. It's not similar to PokeMMO, and in my opinion, personal opinion, if you don't have an economic system that is similar to PokeMMO, I don't think your Pokemon MMO will last. I think it sounds really harsh, but I think it really ends up being that simple. It took PokeMMO a very, very long time to discover and test and get to the economic system that they have. And if you don't know about it, I recommend checking out my videos talking about it, my breeding guide, etc., etc. It is crucial that the main loop of making Pokeyen within a Pokemon MMO is actually catching Pokemon and sort of having the traditional sort of loop. I think it's really important. It doesn't have to be the case. You can make Pokeyen in other ways, but generally it gets a little boring, or a little lack of feeling mystical and lack of that Pokemon feeling. However, this game already seems to be going in its own direction and its own very MMO feeling, which is not a bad thing at all. The pacing, the speed, the quick battles, it's very interesting. It's very fast paced, and I think it's very fitting for an MMO in terms of being fast paced with those mundane tasks, so that you're able to grind and grind and grind and grind more efficiently. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to judge the end game of this game. I'm only going to be playing my first impressions, my first hour, so I just don't have the time for that in this video. If you want to see more stuff like that, or a deeper view of the end game, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to try to get to that. Now, I'm going to continue on and see how things look, but I'm going to do my best to accurately judge this game for what I do see in it. Let's go ahead and finish this battle. I'm getting kind of bopped by these trainers, I'm not going to lie. I'm finding myself running back to the Poke Center every pretty much battle to go heal, which is not a bad thing. Especially with the pacing of this game, you're really able to make the trainers and make the gym leaders much more challenging and make it easier for your players to run back and just sort of try them over and over and over again until they complete them, until they get it right. Having a fast pacing with a lot of failing can actually be a really good system. Here we see an interesting NPC, PBO Helper Clown. I'm the clown. Let's roll out my question. Can you locate EVs manually in PBO? I think you can. Ding ding. Otherwise, why would they ask that? That's pretty interesting. I think that's quite cool. Let's go ahead and actually, that's a great little tutorial guide to jump in. So now I know I can go over to my EV page and look, I do have to distribute them manually. That's a really good thing for them to tell me. So I can go ahead and max out the HP and the attack EVs I have, accept those changes, and then I'm not going to up my speed or defense probably because I don't actually really want those at the moment on Turtwig. Maybe we'll do speed later on, but now we can see the EVs because obviously you can only have a maximum of 5-10 EVs on a Pokemon, so you want to strategically place them. I think this is really cool. I like this sort of saving up EV system. I think it's just a lot cleaner, especially in an MMO format. I'm happy to see stuff like this. It's really nice. This is honestly works really cleanly. Alright, but if I head to this path, I do get stuck. There's no way for me to go, and those rocks block me off. However, in that quick trainer battle I just did, it seemed as though all of my Pokemon got XP. Let's see if I can replicate that. That would be really interesting. It seems as though XP all is on, and it's on by default. Let's see if I level up. Now, we only see Turtwig XP there. I wonder how that happened or what dictates that. There is a cool little hidden Pokeball over here. You can barely see the red on it. Cool little hidden thing. Magical Leaf TM. I love stuff like that. That's great. Great mechanic. I found this interesting building in Jubilife City. Dynite Ore Trader and Blaze Coin Trader. I don't know what mechanics these are involved in, but it's cool to see the different currencies. I hopefully it's a good thing. It seems interesting. I definitely just feel like the end game is something I'm super missing out on in this game, and I think it would be something super interesting to explore, but would take a large time commitment to do it. That's a nice little aesthetic. If you walk over here, you actually hear the water sound effects from the fountain. That's quite nice. You can hear them fade in and out as I walk away from them or walk towards it. That's a nice touch to make this game feel very alive. Once again, visuals, aesthetics, ambiance is out of the park. Now, I will say sometimes they have things that clearly aren't implemented, I believe, and when that's the case, they just won't let you walk in the building and they don't tell you anything about it, which is kind of funny. Same with if I try to walk to the west here. I don't know if this just isn't implemented or if I just not supposed to go here yet, but I just can't go in. Honestly, not the worst way to block it off in the world. But I'm going to keep continuing north. I want to find the first gym and get my first gym badge, and that's usually how I sort of wrap up these videos. But once again, I was blocked off in this cave, and it seems like they want you to find an alternative path. Which, if I run down here, there actually seems to be a little bit of a path that I can follow to the east. If I could stop running into so many Pokemon, it's crazy the amount of encounters you get in this game. Alright, okay, well, the amount of encounters you get are actually shocking, but maybe that's a good thing. So here's that path. I'm going to go heal up really quick and run back to it. I guess when your game is as fast-paced as this, it's actually okay to have that amount of encounters. It's definitely just interesting / kind of frustrating, even though it's quite fast at times. But I can head over to the east here and see what's going on. Alright, I don't really know where to go, so I'm officially lost. It's time to figure out what to do in this game. However, I actually want to test something. I want to purposefully die to this Hoppip to see what the whiteout screen looks like and what the punishment is for whiting out. There we go. That should do it. It just sends me back to the PC. Was any Pokeyen lost? I don't believe so, and I think that's fine in a Pokemon MMO. So you just get sent back to a PC. That's only fair. That delay of your progress and slowing you down is usually punishment enough, especially in a Pokemon MMO. Taking that Pokeyen when it could be used to actually interact with other players is often a little too troubling. But finally, when we walk into the trainer school, we do find Barry. We find a super potion there. I need to give him the parcel that his mother gave me, so we'll talk to him and get this over with. And I can actually beat up and battle some of the kids if I do that. If you saw that in the top right-hand corner, let's battle this trainer and see what happens. It seems as though, oddly enough, there is shared XP for the party in trainer battles, but not for wild battles. Interesting sort of balance. Yeah, as you can see here, everyone gained shared XP, but in a wild battle, that's not the case. Interesting. Definitely something to take note of. Not bad, not good, I'd say. Just interesting. All right, we've got to talk to Cloud number 1 over here. What you got for us? Got another question. Does a Pokemon grow by defeating others and getting XP? Yeah, I assume so. Why not? Coupon. What does this give us? One coupon, shiny looking coupon. What does this do? Item's not usable yet. That's interesting. I'm getting decently rewarded though, consistently, for talking to random NPCs here and there. There are also NPCs that kind of stick out. So it's really, really good, not only map design, but game design and sort of game progression to have those trainers, have those things stick out to you, draw them in, you talk to them, get a little reward. And then that will encourage you to explore the world more and more thoroughly as you play throughout the game. A really, really impressive game balancing mechanic. Here we see Pokemon Clown number 2. Can a Pokemon hold items? Yes, of course they can. I get another coupon. Can't head in there yet. Can I head to the west yet? No, I'm not sure yet, but I found a Clown number 3, and I'm interested in all these Clown nows. The types of moves, just like Pokemon types, the moves of Pokemon also have types. Yeah, of course. Very easy questions. We get our little coupons and move on. So it seems like I still can't head west. So I don't have that unlocked yet, or it's just straight up not implemented. Let's head back to the north and maybe see if those rocks are cleared. The rocks aren't cleared, so it's still not clear which path I'm supposed to take or where I'm supposed to go to progress the storyline. I'll go back to town and figure it out. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if people are yelling at me in the comments because they obviously knew where I was supposed to go. This could totally be similar to a traditional Sinnoh Pokemon game. I haven't played too much of them. I played the Sinnoh storyline once in PokeMMO, and I've played a little bit of Diamond on DS, but I haven't played too much of them. This does seem a little different. Maybe this is more akin to Platinum, which I've never played, but I'm not sure if the PokeMMO storyline follows Platinum or traditional Diamond. So this does seem very different, or at least slightly different. People in the comments can let me know who are familiar with the Sinnoh region in the gameplay of it. Hey, does this follow that traditional path or storyline, or is this like, how original, how custom is this? Alright, apparently there is actually an east path. I should collect the fishing rod before they close down their campaign. Alright, so I gotta get my fishing rod, I guess. But that does seem to be the correct path. If I talk to the fishing expert, will he direct me somewhere? Is this the way to go? What's up, fishing expert? Let me count your coupons. I see. This seems very custom. There's no way this is from a traditional Pokemon game, but maybe I'm incorrect. So you have to collect those 3 coupons from the clowns, and then you trade them in for a fishing rod. That was a really cute quest. That was very impressive. And now we unlock access to Barry. I'm flabbergasted. I'm very interested in this game. I think there's a lot of really good, unique changes being made like that. I will say the brain dead battling, pretty typical, pretty similar, nothing crazy here. This game is almost less of a Pokemon game and more of an MMO. And I think that's something that certain Pokemon MMOs try to do and fail at. And I almost feel like this one is doing it at least in an okay manner. There we go. We do defeat Barry, gain XP across the board, and move on. I will say I have 2 Pokemon that are level 12, and I still haven't seen my first Pokemon gym. So I should be getting close if we're going by semi-traditional Pokemon scaling, or things are going to be a little less traditional than I even realized and get even more interesting. I'll try to catch this Surskit. We successfully catch that, which is nice. Any good IVs, kind of whatever around the board, not important. Alright, we run into another clown here, the PBO Helper clown with another question. Can you buy a game pass from a mart? I believe no. I believe that is an in-game thing. That's not correct. Interesting. Okay, I don't understand this game at all then. Joshua, what's up? What's up? Is this a trainer? Nope. We have some little ledges here to cross over. Can we cross this one? We actually can. That didn't even seem like it. We can head this way or head that way. I'll head this way first and then go back that way. Now, this is first and foremost meant to be a critique and a review and not a playthrough sort of alongside me, but I think it's important to give a little bit of that for those who might be wanting to enjoy this experience or play the game alongside me. I think it's a really fun thing to do, and I super get that. Hopefully you guys, if you are playing alongside me, hopefully you're enjoying. Maybe like the video if you're enjoying, etc., etc. But if we take that most southern path, we can actually reach over to this cave. Just kidding, we have a quick trainer first, but that should be pretty easy. I do like how it highlights the text green if it's going to be super effective. It's pretty nice aesthetic once again. And then heading into this cave, we reach Oreburg Gate. So if we keep heading east from here, we'll see what happens. This have Sturdy, Nopal gain some nice XP. Now we finally get another move in Razor Leaf. That's huge. Now we have 3. A physical grass move is super nice. I will say, even with the high speed of the battles and everything, the absolute quantity, look at this, of encounters you get gets kind of absurd. I am finding myself using a ton of potions while in this cave, though. I'm taking a lot of damage, and the fights are getting a little difficult, which I think is a really good balancing thing to see. I think it's not too difficult, but not too easy. Is that the end of the cave? Really short cave. I think that balance was actually perfect. I had to use like 2 or 3 potions just while in there. All right, but here we are in the next city. Barry is sitting here in front of the gym. I want to go ahead and heal up really quick and then head over to that and get my first badge. All right, so the gym leader headed off to Orbird Mine. We'll try to get that really quick. But we run into another PBO Helper clown. Let's talk to him and get more tutorial stuff going on. This shit's been really enjoyable. I believe it is 3 badges in this gym. Ding, ding, ding. That's correct. 2 potions added. I love those NPCs. I assume the mine is to the north here, but I could be incorrect. Let's check it out. Route 207. I will say, playing for this long and not even encountering my first gym is a little awkward / weird on the pacing. However, that's a very small negative amongst a lot of positives within this early game of Pokemon Blaze Online. Alright, it does seem like this is not the path, though. It's essentially just a huge grass patch over here, and then there's no way to get up here, and really nothing else for me to access, so I'm going to head back to the city and try to find the correct path. Okay, here we are. The mine is to the south. I should have known this. I've definitely played through this part of a Pokemon game before. Let's keep heading south and see if we can find this gym leader. Worker Dan. We see Cindy on the left. We see some people with little... Oh, what? Something is happening here. It looks like a shiny Metagross someone has as well. This seems to be some sort of server-wide event. Okay, let's see how much I can contribute to this level 85 Gmax. What a cool experience to be able to encounter this, though, during my playthrough. I'm gonna get obliterated by it, but you know what? I can do fake out damage. There we go. Okay. Do I get any... do I get a reward for doing 1 damage to that thing? This guy's running back. It seems this is a mount. I don't even think this is a... This is interesting. It's so cool to see stuff like that. Overworld Pokemon sort of raids or battles like this are fantastic pieces of content to see in MMO. Do you have to help a certain amount to maybe get some sort of benefit or reward? Let's see if chat told me anything. The system chat didn't seem to mention anything about it, but this is so intriguing to me. I love that kind of content, but I have to move on for now. Alright, here we are finding the gym leader. I think this actually might be the same way it happens in the traditional game, so I think I remember seeing something like this in Pokemon Diamond or in Original Sinnoh, if I'm not mistaken. Let's run back to the gym and actually finally take him on now. Alright, taking around 4 hours of playing. Now, obviously, very slow, very in-depth playing. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the sort of substance of this video. Let's go ahead and make it to our first gym finally and actually carry on through here and see how easy the first gym is. Let's see the difficulty level. I think this will be a huge telltale sign of the game. How difficult the first gym leader is a really big deal. That did no damage. I definitely need to go ahead and just suck it up and absorb there. How difficult the first gym leader is in a Pokemon MMO is hugely telling of the rest of the game's difficulty. So let's go ahead and test it. See how things go. There we go. Not too shabby. I'm free to keep absorbing here. So the first 2 guys were super wicked easy. I'm level 15 on my Turtwig. And an easy Pokemon MMO in terms of storyline isn't a bad thing at all. I want to make that uber clear. Geodude level 14, I'm level 15, so we're pretty even. I think this is pretty much a pretty fair thing. He sets up sand. That's actually pretty scary if something could take advantage of it. Now, it does seem like this fight is going to be pretty easy. Onyx doing crazy damage to me, though. Debug. Sturdy could not activate. Oh, okay, interesting. Sandstorm, yada, yada, yada. I lose HP to Sandstorm. His special defense is being raised because of the Sandstorm, which is making me do less damage. Is he slower than me? I don't know if he's faster or slower. I think it seems like he's faster, correct? Part of me wants to switch out here, but is he... No, the Rock Tomb's actually lowered my speed. I think it's worth for me... I don't know if this is even worth using this sort of brain strategy at all, but I'm going to switch out here, go back to keep my speed, and then go for the Absorb. Cranidos comes in. I'm going to do a similar strat here where I essentially switch out. The question is what to... Can Glameow live 1 attack from this? This is level 16? Oh, this battle just got a lot more difficult than I expected. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to bring in Glameow here, go for a fake out to get a little bit of free damage while I can. And then I think I'm going to go for a super potion on my Turtwig. Did it insta-use on my Glameow? Why would it do that? You used one super potion. HP restore doesn't work on full HP. You can't use healing items on... What the fuck just happened? On other Pokemon in this game? That seems like a monstrous glitch or oversight. That was... Huh? Well, that's mildly frustrating. Maybe I went through the wrong course of actions. Maybe I need to open up my bag in some way or do something different there. But I don't know what would cause me to not be able to use that potion on, like, choose my Turtwig. It just insta-used on my Glameow. That was so strange. Okay, I'm going to finish off this battle as normal. Finish off this Onix like normal. I did a lot of damage. I wonder if I should switch out when the Onix comes to let the Sandstorm go down. Let's see if I'm faster. I'm not faster. I think I lose this battle now. Yeah, I think I take a huge L here. Yeah, that's okay. We'll go back and heal up again. I think there is actually a strategy that I can implement to win this, but this is a pretty surprisingly difficult fight, which I think is a good thing. You know what? I'm actually enjoying this. How fast-paced it is, once again. That pacing allows for a more difficult story or more difficult challenges in general, with it being less frustrating. Let's go ahead and jump back here. We'll jump back into this. I'll go ahead and take out the Geodude as normal. He's gonna set up Sandstorm again. That's the tough thing here. So we'll absorb again. Now I'm actually gonna switch out here because I want to stall turns here. Essentially, is my thought process. I'm switching out to Surskit, whatever it may be, anything here. I'm just trying to stall turns. I'll fake out to break the thing. I'm stalling turns to get rid of Sandstorm, and that'll allow me to do a lot more damage. Hypnosis if possible. Nice. We'll lower some attack here. Get things set up, essentially. I'm getting things set up as much as possible for my Turtwig to come in. We'll try to Hypnosis again. Okay. Their Onix is at -4 attack. I should be in a really good position here to go ahead and absorb, heal back all my HP. Now, the big issue is, I guess this minus speed, I'm not going to be able to switch out to reset my speed. But the speed actually won't matter, because I'm pretty sure Cranidos is just faster anyway. So this is how I win this fight. I just have to absorb. I don't think I do enough damage. Oh no, do I go for Razor Leaf here? What is Cranidos' attack? How much damage? He just did 20 to me. How much did I gain? I gained 8. I have to always Razor Leaf here and hope for crit. It's the only way I win. And I actually do enough damage to take him out. I don't know if that was a crit or not. I need to check the chat. Yeah, that's the only way I ever win that battle. I don't know if it was because of a crit or just because I did enough damage, but there we go. We do actually take out the first gym leader, and that was an enjoyable challenge. Let's see if I can check the system chat to see if there was a crit or anything of the sort. Unfortunately, I don't see a way to check actual battle chat logs, but that's okay. That was a fun little challenge. What a cool little experience. We did go ahead and get our first gym badge. Let's see if we can see it here. In our trader card, we can see our party. We can see the general stats there. We can see our badges and then some other stuff going on. This is pretty neat. All right, but I think that wraps everything up. I think this was my first impressions for Pokemon Blaze Online, and I do have some final thoughts. I think the biggest positives of this game is the pacing, the MMO aspects, the difficulty, the aesthetics, the UI, and the originality of the storyline and other mechanics. This was probably, honestly, one of the best new player onboarding experiences I've had from a Pokemon MMO in quite a while. Even better than Poke1, in my opinion. Now, does that mean this is a fantastic Pokemon MMO? Kind of. There were still a lot of negatives and a lot of red flags at the beginning of this game, alongside the sort of real world money shop and everything of that sort. I think whether this game is a truly good Pokemon MMO is really going to come down to the end game, which is something I don't have time today to be able to explore. That would probably take hundreds of hours of playing and playthroughs and videos to be able to actually reach that, to properly assess this game as a whole. And I think that could really be a make it or break it for this game. Whether the end game is a little too pay to win, or whether things get too convoluted, or whether the gameplay loops get boring, whether how Pokeyen is made, how the economy works, the trading house doesn't seem super promising, all of that stuff could really crush this game. But just in terms of a purely new player experience, this is a very exciting Pokemon MMO. And I had a lot of fun. Could this be a long-term Pokemon MMO masterpiece? It's possible, I just don't know yet, and I don't know today. Was this a very fun, incredible, invigorating, original Pokemon MMO experience? Yeah, I had a ton of fun today. Another huge negative that I feel like I have to mention is that this game, to my understanding, is not copyright protected the same way that PokeMMO is. So you could play this game for hundreds or even thousands of hours, and then down the line it gets stricken down by Nintendo and all of your progress is gone. It's always technically possible with PokeMMO, but watch my other videos to understand why they're actually legally in the correct or legally in the right via somewhat of a loophole, and they cannot be stricken down by Nintendo. But this game, I feel like, has a lot more plausibility to have that happen. I could be wrong, but I'm not a lawyer, but that's just my general understanding of things at the current time. But what I am is a mediocre YouTuber, so that means I have to do a little bit of an outro. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I really do fucking appreciate it. I hope your time was well spent. I hope you had fun. Remember to like the video if you did enjoy it. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon MMO content, generally PokeMMO content, PokeMMO Guides, etc., etc. My Discord is linked down below, and I stream Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. EST here on YouTube and on Twitch. If you want to go above and beyond and support my content, if you would like to see more of my content, allow me to stay full-time making videos, support via YouTube membership, Twitch Prime, and Twitch subs are always a fantastic way to do so, as well as hitting up my PayPal and Venmo, which is always linked down below. I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna go have a great day. Hopefully you guys will have a great day as well. Goodbye, guys.
Yo, if you're watching this, that means you watched the entire video. So first things first, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. And if your name is on this list, that means you go above and beyond and support the channel and allow me to do what I do every single day. Thank you so much and have a great day.